September 1991. Those of you who watch these videos may remember, I don't know, but in the last one, I mentioned that I had finished my temp job at a nursery and did not have enough money to go back to college, so I got a job as a mason tender. Now, I got this job through a cousin of mine. I put the word out. I was looking for work, and my cousin went to church with this guy who had a small masonry business, and they needed a new mason tender. And the reason they needed a new mason tender is because one of the young gentlemen who was working that summer, the previous summer, the current summer, whatever, was going back to school. Now, you may recall that I mentioned at the nursery, one of the women that worked there, her brother was a student at Bowling Green State University and just happened to be someone who was in one of my classes. So I went to work at this as a mason tender, and one of the bricklayers, was the father of that same kid from my math class at Bowling Green State University. And that's the person I was replacing. The kid, not the father. He was the bricklayer. But his son had come home, worked as a mason tender for the summer, and was going back to Bowling Green. So coincidences all over the place. I enjoyed being a mason tender. Good, hard work, working outdoors. Seasonal, but it was good stuff. Anyway, that's my little anecdote for this video. So let's get to the books. What did I read in September of 1991? Well, I'll tell you. I started off with Kill Your Darlings by Max Allan Collins. This is another Mallory book. And in this one, yes, Mallory has gone to a mystery writers convention for writers and fans and everything, and one of the authors is killed, and of course Mallory takes it upon himself to try to solve the murder. There you go. And then that was followed up by Nice Weekend for a Murder by Max Allan Collins, which is another Mallory book. This time, Mallory is at a mansion in New York for this whodunit kind of thing, like, a murder mystery weekend. And, of course, someone there is actually murdered. And they get snowed in. And Mallory, again, takes it upon himself to solve this mystery. These are good, nice, fun Max Allan Collins mystery stories. But number 3, we're changing gears. We're switching it up. Number 3 in September of 1991 is Necroscope by Brian Lumley. And this is, I don't know how you pronounce the character's name. It's Harry Keogh? It's Keogh. Cuff? I don't know. I have no idea how you pronounce that. But anyway, he's a guy that can talk to the dead. And does he find out? I don't know. The different world governments have departments where they're doing, psychic stuff and people talking to the dead. And there's some old undead vampire buried somewhere, and he's controlling other vampires that aren't buried. And Harry is trying to, get the world governments together and everything. They got to stop this vampire plague or whatever. I know this is hugely popular with a lot of people. I was not a fan. I don't know that we're going to see maybe one other, or did I already do? I think I read A House of Doors by Brian Lumley, which I feel like may have already been on this list. I don't know, but I don't think I read any other Necroscope stuff. It just didn't do it for me. Wasn't a big fan of Brian Lumley's style. As a secondary anecdote, in 6th grade, I met a kid named Brian Lumley, and we were friends for a long time, and we won't get into the kind of person he is, but this part might tell you the kind of person he is. Apparently, he used to tell people that he was Brian Lumley, the author. When he was in high school, he'd be like, hey, look, I wrote this book. We aren't friends anymore. Anyway, that's Necroscope by Brian Lumley. Not a big fan. Then we have Job, A Comedy of Justice by Robert A. Heinlein. And not a huge Heinlein fan. I've read a few of his things. I liked Stranger in a Strange Land. And I liked Starship Troopers. But his other stuff, I don't know. I don't know if it was his style. Maybe I was in the wrong mood. This is about a guy who, a very devout religious guy who knows the apocalypse is coming, and he's trying to save his heathen girlfriend and the rest of the world, but mainly his heathen girlfriend, I think. I don't know. Didn't do it for me. Wasn't super excited about this. But what are you going to do? So I haven't read a lot of Heinlein. Next up, we have Mine by Robert A. McCammon. And you may have noticed I did not hold up a book when I said this, because I do not have a copy of it at the moment. But this is about a woman whose baby is stolen from the hospital by I think the woman that did it is a nurse. But she's a crazy person who wants her own baby. And if I remember correctly, this is kind of just a big long chase novel as the crazy lady that stole the baby is trying to get away with it, and the mother is chasing her, trying to get her baby back. I'm not going to do it. But, yeah, it was good. It's different, I think, for McCammon. I want to say everything except maybe Boy's Life was, straight up horror. There are supernatural elements, craziness. You got werewolves and vampires and aliens and gods and demons and things. And this is, I don't remember if there's a supernatural element to Boy's Life or not. That's his big coming of age. But this one, I'm pretty sure is just straight up thriller. It's good stuff, and I will have a copy of it again someday. All right, let's get back to Max Allan Collins. We've got Midnight Hall by Max Allan Collins. This is a standalone novel. I have to look. Where is it? Okay, so journalist student Crane. His girlfriend commits suicide. He doesn't believe she was suicidal, so he starts investigating, and then he finds that 5 other people that worked at this chemical company also committed suicide, which, doesn't quite add up. So he's going to figure out what the hell's going on. As I said, it's a standalone, and it's good. It's Max Allan Collins. I'm just going to keep on saying that. Next up, Primary Target by Max Allan Collins. This one is a Quarry novel. Quarry is his hitman character or assassin character. I don't know if there's a big difference. You can tell me. But so these people try to hire Quarry to assassinate. I don't remember if it's the president or a presidential candidate. And Quarry says no. And so these people come after him, and Max Allan Collins doesn't pull punches. These people kill Quarry's pregnant girlfriend, but they fail to kill Quarry. So, of course, he's going to take them all down. Show them that you don't piss off Quarry. This Quarry series is really good if you like your crime fiction with criminals and not detectives and stuff. Then we have Spree, which is a Nolan novel by Max Allan Collins. Excuse me. Nolan is Collins's thief character. So you've got like the Nathan Heller books. He's a private detective. The Quarry books. He's a killer for hire. And then Nolan, who is a thief. And then Mallory, who's just a mystery writer that somehow keeps getting caught up in murders. But in Spree, Okay, no, I did not get these mixed up. So Nolan has retired, and he's trying to live the civilian life with his girlfriend. And there's some guy that thinks Nolan killed his brother, and so he kidnaps Nolan's girlfriend, Sherry, and uses her as leverage to get Nolan to rob a mall. And, the guy's crazy. Nolan figures this guy's never going to let anybody live. So he's setting up this mall heist while also trying to figure out where Sherry is and rescue her and all this stuff. Again, the Nolan books, if you're into crime, criminal noir, it's a good series. I think the Quarry series was made into a TV show on like Showtime or one of those channels. Anyway, the final book that I read in September of 1991 was Masks, with a Q, Masques, edited by J.N. Williamson. This is a horror and supernatural short story collection with authors ranging from, I'm going to look here, I just jotted down a few. Robert Bloch, Ray Bradbury, Joe R. Lansdale, Matheson's, both Richard and Richard Christian. So Richard Matheson and Richard Christian Matheson both have stories. F. Paul Wilson, whole bunch of great authors. And, as I said, just a bunch of short stories. And I am sure that, like most anthologies, there's good ones, not so good ones necessarily, although, the lineup is really good, but it all comes down to personal taste. All right, there you have it. That's everything I read in September of 1991. A lot of Max Allan Collins still. But I think we've got some other, there's horror short stories. There's a Robert R. McCammon thriller. Brian Lumley, horror. So, a mix. Interesting mix, I think. Let me set that over there. You know what? I'm not going to give you a question this week. I'm not going to try and force it. I didn't think of one. So, you get the week off. No question for you this time. But that's it. That's everything I read. So if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That's all I've got for you this week. So until next week, read more books.